jump off and jump back on because I didn't know what was going on with this phone, and I need you guys to see me. I am out running errands, and I just decided to jump on and just to say there's a lot going on, and anyone who has read, heard, viewed the situation that's going on social media with this family, I think it is the responsibility of all of us social media creators, those like myself who are waiting to be classified as a social media creator. It is incumbent upon us every time we come on to encourage parents, and I won't stop talking about it because this has been my life journey to protect the elderly and protect children and those that doesn't have a voice for themselves. And I'm begging, I'm pleading to social media first of all to remember that every child that gets hurt could be your child. Stop putting up this little girl's videos and pictures. Stop it, guys. I don't want to be part of any organization, any group that would turn around, and it's abuse, believe it or not. It's social media abuse what you all are doing to this little girl. And every social media individual that think that this couldn't happen to them, lies you tell yourself. Lies you tell yourself. Predators and abusers don't have color, shape, financial status. They're just crazy. They're just crazy. So I'm begging you all, stop it. Stop putting this little girl. I got up this morning and the first thing, and then you all are, thank you guys for coming, thanks for coming. Then you all have the nerve. You have the nerve because of views to be exploiting this child. You have the nerve to be exploiting any children, any child. You don't know, you know. I don't care if you know, if you have the facts. I don't care. You don't do this. You don't do this. And any mother out there, any woman, any man, anybody that would support something like this, that would go on and watch these people, you go on and watch them and give them the views on this topic, you're evil, just like they are. And I'm not apologizing. You are evil. You're evil just like they are. Because listen, guilty by association is real. And you might not make money off of it. You're wrong. Stop it. Stop it, for God's sake. Pretend it's your family member and stop it. I don't care if you have the proof. Stop it. It is heartbreaking. It is, I tell you, it feels like it's a relative of mine for anybody to go through that. And then people turn around making money off of it. Remember, you know, guys, this child life, her mental health, let the Lord do its work. Let the Lord, you talk about if anybody do to your children, so you're doing it to her. You're doing it to her by making money off it. You're doing it to her by making money off it. And the climate with which we are in right now, it's like empathy has taken its rest. No one is empathetic anymore. Everyone just want. Greed, 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 greed. Nobody think of other people's pain. Listen, you all have no idea what it's like, you know. No idea what it's like. Throughout my career, I had to deal with it. With parents who are found on that avenue, children who are found on that avenue. Guys, it is wrong. It is wrong. Social media people, let's speak out about those that are doing it. It is wrong. It is wrong. It is wrong. Stop exploiting this little girl. Stop it, guys. Stop it. And I implore you to report these people to YouTube. Report them under the harassment. There's an harassment tab there. And if you don't know what to put violating a minor through media. That's the term you write in it. Violating a minor through media. It has to stop. It has to stop. Why are we so cold? Why are we so focused on making money on YouTube that we have no class and no decency? Let me tell you guys something. If you're hurt, I'm sorry. Guess what? A child life is more important than your views, because I can come off of this any day, any minute, any hour. I can come off. I have a life. This is not my life. This is something I enjoy doing. Yes, I do. But if it means that I have to join the bandwagon to make the points and the views, I won't. I was never a follower. Never. I'm a trendsetter. I don't follow unless it's the right thing to do. And I'm begging you guys, I'm begging you, do not support those who are exploiting this young girl. Do not give them your views. Do not give them your thumbs up. Somebody has to stand up for what is right. Somebody has to stand up for what is right, guys. Protect this little girl. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I see you, thank you. Let's protect this little girl. Oh, I came off too quick. Let's protect this little girl, guys. Let's protect this little girl. I don't care if you think you know that it's true. I don't care. Violating her privacy. Making the situation worse emotionally for her, because that's what you're doing. You're making it worse for her. Hi, Angela Lewis. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm okay, sweetheart. I'm okay. My phone is just like if I was driving without being on the media. Thanks for the concern. Thanks for the concern. Thanks for coming, Angela. I can't give you your blue jacket because, as you know, I'm driving. I had to revamp the channel, so you'll see some changes. Taking off the blue doesn't mean that I don't care for you guys. It just means I had to look at the way I do things. And this is the reason why there's a name change also. I have to look at the way I do things, because everything I do on here is for advocacy. Nothing is just because it's gonna pay off down the road. No, it's for advocating for the right of people, supporting the underserved. So I had to change to make the name more inclusive. Home Care Queen, a lot of people were saying to me, I don't need home care, that's why I don't watch you. So that's why I changed the name. People have been asking me. So back to regular programming. The social media is filled with this little girl, and I had to come out. You know how many people have texted me and said, I don't hear you saying anything? Because, you know, I gathered the facts first, and I spoke up about it once I knew. But I'm telling you, abuse is not only physical. Abuse is not only physical. If you listen to abusers, to the abusee, sorry, the mental anguish, the memories doesn't stop unless they get good counseling, praying and fasting. In some cases, they have to get medication so they can relax. You all have no idea that every time you watch somebody that is exploiting this situation, every time you do it, you're making it worse for her. Every time you watch, you're contributing to her emotional pain. Every time. I can't read, guys, but I see that you all are here. I thank you. So many people asking me to be safe, so I'm being extremely cautious. You all don't understand the social, mental dynamic that goes on with anyone that's been abused, much less a child, is more than you can wrap your hand around. This is nothing to play with. This is nothing to play with. What this young girl is going to go through, it's going to take somebody to come alongside. Because remember, guys, the parties that are involved in this, the ramification that they have to take on and bear, I'll deal with that later, but I'm talking about the child right now. The mental fortitude of this child is important. Pardon me. All these things you all are saying, stop it. I don't care if you think that you are advocating for her. You're not. You're not. Once you're putting up pictures for people to stay behind their phone and use their fingers like they're God and make all type of sexual conversation about this young girl. We don't know how old this young girl is. The court papers say 12 to 15. We don't know. And I don't care if she's 100. She deserves to be treated like a human being. She deserves to be protected. She deserves for people to protect her on the media, not use her to make points. Guys, stop it. Stop it, please. Stop it, guys. For a child to reach out to a professional. Let me tell you something. I am so proud of this little girl. I prayed. I keep praying and asking God just to wrap his loving, caring, wonderful arm around her. And to just let her feel his presence. Because the fact that she had the fortitude, the strength to say, this is not right, I'm going to reach out for help. Do you all know how good of an example she is for the next person, the next child that probably will be put in an abusive situation? Do you all know the example this young lady is for them? Do you all have any idea what it takes for a young girl to go to a professional and say, I need you? Do you know what it takes? Guts, pride of self, knowing that she's worth more than what she experienced, and knowing, hi Tina, how are you? Thanks for coming. Knowing that she's worth more than what she's experienced, knowing that God made her and he didn't make her to be violated, and she went to a professional. Do you all know what guts that take? Do you all know what guts that take? So let us support her by sending positive vibes, by praying for her instead of violating her again, by putting her up to get views. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself. And YouTube should cancel you all. YouTube should cancel you all for doing this. Do you have any idea the amount of work it's going to take for this young lady to get back what she has lost in innocence? To understand, which I think she grasped, that it's not her fault. Because if she didn't, she wouldn't reach out for help. I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of her. Protect her. Protect her. I'm not saying that the mother did not protect her. I'm not saying that. Because I know, as a professional that has worked in the mental health arena for my entire life, I know that sometimes children don't want to speak because they think they might get retaliation, or they think they might not be believed. So the fact that she reached out, that's what we should focus on. That she was strong enough and intelligent enough and smart enough and has the proper understanding of what she deserves and what she should tolerate, and don't put up with it and reach out for help. That's where the focus should be. That's where the focus should be. The focus should not be gaining money off her. The focus should not be gaining money off her. And if I was talking all type of mess on here, it will be filled. It will be filled. But if I can reach one person, that if they come across this video to say to themselves, I am not going to violate this young lady again. I am not partaking. I am not partaking in this social media. Hold my tongue, Jesus. The TikTokers are having a field day at this young lady's pain. How can you support that? How can you support that? How can you support somebody violating a child again? Because that's what it is. I'll never stop repeating it. I know I'm repeating myself. I'm doing it for a reason, that it might hit somebody. And it might hit somebody. If one person decides that I will never watch one more video pertaining to this young lady, body parts, if one person does it, it's enough. Tell your children, tell your family, don't watch it. Because in watching it, you are just as guilty as the person who did the initial violation. Guilty by association is a real thing. If you're not for it, you can't support it. You can't support it if you're not for it. You cannot support it. There comes a time when we have to stand for something. And if it means standing by yourself, it's not a bad thing to be by yourself, you know. A person that can stand by themselves and be by themselves without a crowd, that's a person that knows who they are. That's a person that has come full circle with who they are. That you don't have to join the crowd. You don't have to join the crowd. You don't have to join the crowd. You don't have to, because the crowd is going to make you feel good. You don't have to. You can make the difference. You can make the difference by encouraging people around you, family, friends, neighbors, not to watch these things. and to sit in solidarity with this young lady and pray for her and let the law takes its course. Let it takes its course. But in the meantime, if you don't have anything good to say or post, shut up. Shut up. And this goes for who it fits. Some of you make it seem that without YouTube you had no life. Some of you make it seem that without Twitter you had no life. Some of you make it seem that you had no life before this. So you have to go after everything, do everything, say anything. And there's nobody to hold you all accountable because everybody is afraid of you. I ain't afraid of nobody but God. He gives life and he takes it. That's him. Enough is enough. How can you be a parent, an uncle, an auntie, a grandma, a niece, a nephew? How can you? And then you turn around and you have droves of people following you thinking it's funny. It is not. A child's mental health is at risk. A child has been violated. Her innocence has been taken away from her. How can you get joy in that? How can you get joy in that? She has to go to school. She has to go to the supermarket. She has to go to church. This is the reason why children and adults don't come forward when they're being hurt. It's because of this very behavior. This behavior, how the public, some of us deal with them. She should never, her picture should never be placed on social media. I don't care who it is. The picture of a person who has been abused, whether they're an adult or a child, their picture should never be placed on social media. We have lost, listen, with what has happened in the last 2 days, we have lost our moral compass. We have lost our humanity. We just go for what sounds like us. We just go for any little thing we have to join. And when people stand up and they turn around and criticize it, go ahead, criticize me. I'm so used to criticism. I got a t-shirt, I got a cap and a pen and a mug. But I'll always speak out. There are those that have been accused that didn't do it, believe me. But when it's done, and you know it's done, and the law proved that it was done, what more do you want? What more do you want? Your job as a parent, your job as a parent in a situation like this is to pull your child one side and say, sweetheart, I need you to know that whatever you tell me, that somebody hurt you physically, mentally, sexually, I'll believe you. That's what you all need to be doing. You all need to be reassuring your children. You need to be reassuring your children that you trust them, and whatever they say, you believe them. That's your job right now. Because all those of you who say, I don't know about nobody nowhere else but United States of America, thank God, as messed up as it is, it will always protect people. So all those that are saying the law won't do anything, I don't know that law. Because once it's reported, the law is going to take care of it. So our duty, our responsibility as human beings is to cuddle every child in our presence and assure them that if something happens to you and you name it out, You don't talk about if somebody touch a tomato and if somebody touch an apple. You name it out. If somebody touches you and touches you here and here, you name it out. I need you to come to me. If someone makes you feel uncomfortable around them, come to me, because mommy, daddy, uncle, auntie, grandma, we trust you. We will believe you. That's the work y'all should be doing. That's the work y'all should be doing. Instead of sitting down, making points and views of this young lady, violating her again. Violating her again. Y'all have no idea, because it doesn't happen to your child. Because it doesn't happen to your child. Because it's not your child. You think you're immune? You think you're immune? You think you're immune? There's some crazy family members and relatives and friends out there. Crazy. So if you think you're immune, that's why you can sit down and make money off someone's pain, because you think you're immune. I got news for you. Start trusting your children. Start trusting your children. You can call any one of my children. Call any one of them and ask them how I educated them on this issue. How I educated them. I let them know that if you say it's so, I believe you. All through their life, I told my kids that. And someone might say, why would you bring up that subject to them? Why? Because I'm an educator. I'm an educator. And what I tell my clients, I tell my kids to protect them. What I tell my kids, what I tell clients, I tell my kids to protect them all their life. Social issues that nobody talks about, ask them. I remember my son said to me one day, Mom, you're the only mom that just talk boldly about these things to your kids. I said, yes. I want you all to know the dangers that are out there, and to know that beside God, I'm your covering. If you come to me and tell me it happened, I will believe you before I believe the next person. I don't care who they are. I told my children that all through their life. I don't care who they are. Father, uncle, brother, pastor, sister, friend, I don't care. If my kids came to me and told me they know, my mom is going to believe me right through their life. If you ever see any one of them on the streets, in church, and ask them. Sometimes they used to go, not again, Mom. Yes, it was a constant conversation in my house. Because I know it can happen to anyone. It can happen to anyone. Because some countries give men the right to do these things. When you talk about a child at 16 can consent for intimacy. No, she can't. She can't vote. He cannot vote. He cannot go into a store and buy a cigarette. So how the heck is he going to consent to that? So some country perpetuate this nastiness. But thank God for these messy United States of America. Yes, we're not perfect, but we protect. We protect. So instead of sitting out here and making money off this young girl, you better go hug your child. You better go hug your child and ask your child, has anyone ever, and name the parts, have you ever feel uncomfortable around? This is personal for me because I know of a young girl. She ended up having a baby at 12. Or was it 13? And it was an old person. So this is very personal for me. And she's trying. She's 18 now or 17 now, and she's trying. She's trying to maneuver back life. And she has a child beside her to remind her. Because even if she loves the child, which she does, it takes a lot of support and prayers from her parents. And the willingness to seek counseling for her. That's why she's able to somewhat cope. But she still struggles with it. So this is not only professional for me, this is personal. Because I know someone very close to me had to stand by her during that process. So when are we gonna grow up? When are we gonna grow up? We think we're better than everybody else and we can cut more cloth than the fabric store than anybody else. We think we are more bullied than anybody else. What's wrong with you all? What's wrong with you all? You don't stand for nothing, but you're ready to cuss everybody for everything when you stand for nothing. Because you think what? You think what? Because you come out of a certain country, you're better than anybody else? You're more powerful than anybody else? Nobody can tell you all when you're wrong? Stop violating this young lady over and over again to make a few dollars. Stop it. Those of you who see them, report those content creators, report them to YouTube. If everybody report them, they will stop. YouTube harassment is so wide that they don't give you an area. Because I looked at it to see what is the requirement for YouTube. And they don't give you a wide enough area to work with when you're doing these reports. And I penned a letter to them to make it a little broader. Their list is not enough. I penned them a letter already, and I'm going to do it again. I did it a couple months for something I saw. And they wrote back to me and said they'll take it in consideration. I'm going to write them again. They need to open the harassment box with a little more so people can click on the information to get these people down. If we don't stand for something, we fall for anything, and then we think we are all that. Then we think we are all that. Everybody's scripturing and praying for the wrong things. When are we going to wake up? When are we going to wake up and we're an embarrassment to ourselves? This is not what YouTube was intended for. YouTube was around before content creators. It was around before somebody realized they can make money on it and share it with others. YouTube was around before that. Meta didn't put up YouTube for this type of vulgarity and cuss and foolishness. That's not why YouTube put it up. That's not why YouTube put it up. For us to abuse each other. That's not why YouTube is here. It's an information system and an advertisement system. That's what it is. And we come and take it for our backyard. We think we can do anything and say anything and behave anyway. Why? Because we have a group of people that will follow us. We have a group of people that will follow us, and the nasty and dirtier you get is the more they come. Stop. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Thank you for the thumbs up. Let's protect our children. Motivational Melodies, how are you, darling? How are you? I'm here talking about the stance that some content creator take motivational. In violating this young lady, every time something click and I look, something running across my screen. Happy to hear, happy to hear. Something running across. Now they have this young lady's pictures up. They have video of her itemizing her body parts. You all need to stop. This is, I know I'm repeating myself. I know it. I'm deliberately doing it. I know how to contextualize my conversations. But what I'm saying to you all, go hug your children. Go and hug your children. Go in a private corner. Take them on your bed. Lay down with them. Hug them. Reassure them that you love them. And if anything is happening to them or has happened to them, tell it to you or tell it to a professional. That's the job we need to be doing as human beings. Checking our home. Checking our home. This should be a wake-up call. Every mother, every father, every uncle, every brother, every grandparent should be tying your tummy like my grandmother used to say and bawling to God for children. That's what we need to be doing. Because let me tell you all something. It is more prevalent and rampant than you all willing to admit. Leaving up your children to men who are not their fathers. Don't get me wrong, they can do it to their own children too. But I'm talking about this case. Not monitoring behavior, not being able, you see, here's it, you all don't even know yourselves. So you cannot even detect when your children are in pain. Because you don't even know yourselves. When you have a child that is withdrawn, stop talking about she's quiet and she loves to be by herself. Or he's quiet and he loves to be by himself. Lies you tell yourself. Children don't like to be by themselves. They love their peers. They might not want to be around you, which is a part of the process of, you know, when they go into puberty, they're trying to find out who they are, what type of temperament friends they like. So they might pull away. I'm not talking about pulling away. I'm talking about withdrawn. Like, I remember when my, especially my last daughter, she was my textbook. When she got to 13, 14, and I would say, Mommy, you didn't hug me before you go to school this morning. She go, what? I want to hug you, Mommy. I said, bye. You know I love you. That's a child that is getting to find out who they are. But a child who is withdrawn, they don't want you to hug them. And if you mention the hugs, they don't even acknowledge you. They don't say, I love you, even though I don't hug you. They don't come up with something. They just hold their head down and continue walking. You think that's a child that wants to be quiet? That's a child that's been hurt. A child that makes up stories. A child that makes up sexual stories. A child that comes up with ideas that you don't expect. Stop talking about they're cute. No, they ain't cute. They're calling for help. They're calling for help. But if you don't know the signs, because you yourself are not willing to learn, you don't know the signs, and you're so giddy, because if the man leave, you can't survive. Lies you tell yourself. All of us have been in love. All of us have been hurt by love at some point in our life, whether it's by family, friends, foe. But as a parent, the takeaway here is go and educate yourself about the signs of sexual abuse in children. Go and educate. Everybody should be on Google. Everybody should be bringing their children together and go through it with them. Have you ever felt this way when John comes around, when Mary comes around, when Jack comes around? Have you ever felt this way? Have they ever tried? Talk to your kids. This young lady, instead of being trashed, I am so proud of her, as I said before. Can you imagine walking up to your school counselor and says, I want to talk to you? Takes guts that some parents need to get. Protecting herself because she knows what she's worth. And she knows this is not what a father is supposed to do. Do you know what it takes? So go grab that kid. Your homework is to grab each and every one of your children that is under your roof and reassure them that you trust them, because they don't think you trust them. They don't think you love them. They think you'll choose the man over them. I'm not talking about this young lady. I'm talking about how children think. This young lady reached out for help. Will your child do that? Will your child go to a school counselor if a pastor touch them, if a neighbor touch them, if a brother touch them, if their dad touch them? Will they go for help? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Would my child do what this young lady did? And reassure the child that it's okay if you go to someone else, especially a professional when you're being hurt. Reassure the child. Reassure the child. One, you see, we have to take a permit. We have to read a book. We have to read a book when we're thinking of going to teach our children to drive. They have to read a book. Then they have to take a test, a written or verbal test. Then they have to take a physical driving test before they will get a license. They have to read that manual. When we're getting baptized, we're given somebody to pour into us and explain scriptures to us so we can understand what we're going into. When we're getting married, we have to go to counseling. But guess what? When we're getting children, all we need is for 2 minutes, and then we're pregnant for 9 months, and here comes a child. So when there is an avenue to teach, embrace it. When there's an avenue to teach your children how to protect themselves, embrace it instead of using it to gain money. Education is key. All those people who knocking out an education, you stop it. Education does not only mean college. No, college is good. But educate yourself. What you don't know, align yourself with people who are professionally educated to guide you. Because believe me, this hurts. This hurts. I read somewhere where someone said before we got the proof, if proof is out in the public, nobody can say it's an allegation anymore. I heard someone said that the individual, at that time nobody knew who it was. Oh, these kids lie. Let me tell you, there are children, and I'm going to say this quietly, there are children that will pick Jack and say that Jack did this to them because they're experiencing it from someone else, and that's their way of crying out for help. Yes, it happens. Yes, it happens. There are children. There are children that name other people because they're afraid of the person who did it to them, the status they hold. And they name somebody else. Sometimes they name somebody else who the family don't like. Believe me, guys, I'm not pulling this out of my hat. They name somebody who the family don't like because they know the family will go after that person without questioning. When a child tells or fabricates, I should say, a story about sexual abuse, they're experiencing it. They're crying out for help. Educate your family. Educate your children. The school alone cannot do it. You have to do it. Thank God for trusting professional counselors in the school system, that kids can feel confident that if I speak to her, she'll save me. So don't only clutch your pearls and your purse. Clutch your kills. Male and female children, clutch them. Clutch them. Reassure them. People over things. You all hear me use this phrase a lot. Kids over things. Giving them the latest sneakers and the best thing in the store. There's nothing wrong with it, but it must be balanced. It must be balanced. They don't need a new Nike every time school is open. They don't. Wash it. Because the bigger gift is the child trusting you. The bigger gift is the child knowing that I can go for help to a professional. The bigger gift, this young lady is an example. And my prayer is that you become an advocate for children that has experienced what she has experienced in time. That once she gets through the pain, once she gets through the guilt, once she gets through feeling it's my fault why he end up there, because that's how it has stages before she can heal. Crying out for help, then she's gonna feel guilty. She's gonna feel an enormous guilt. And with a good counselor, getting her to accept that it's not her fault, that nothing she did, all of you all, God hold my tongue, all of you all out there come talking about, look at the pants and look at the body part, y'all are so sickening. Nothing a person does makes somebody violate them. Nothing. There is nothing a person can do to make someone violate them. They do it because they're sick. And it's a control thing. It's control. It's power. Because it doesn't just start like that. They have to groom the child. What do I mean by grooming? Get the child to trust them on a level. Be nice to them in public. Be nice to them around the other parent. Treating every one of the children in the same way, so she can see, he not only give me candy, he give my sister and my brother candy, and then it moves up. It's a stairs. It moves up until she gets like 2 candies and the other one gets 1. It's a stairs. You hug all the other children, then you hug her and you pinch her a little different. So you all get what this poor child has gone through? But since she had the mental fortitude to reach out for help, Thank God. Don't only clutch your pearls and your pocketbooks and your pennies. Clutch your children. Clutch your children. Believe your children. Develop an avenue in the home of trust. Stop telling them, go away, go sit down. I don't want to hear it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. If your mother told you when you told her growing up, if your mother told you that she didn't believe you for anything you did, break the cycle with your children. Break the cycle with your children. Make sure they don't go through that. Because hurt people hurt people. Hurt people live in denial avenue. If the child said it happened until you prove otherwise. Yes, children can fabricate stories. They can. But do your investigation. Do your investigation. Love on your children. Sneakers don't love. iPads don't love. There needs to be a law that you cannot give your child an iPad until they enter elementary school. iPad is the babysitter. iPad is the comforter. iPad is the friend. They can no longer concentrate. They're slow in speech. They cannot comprehend. There's nothing wrong with iPad, but they're become babysitters and companions and parents. I see a parent the other day. The child wanted to talk, and the parent was talking to someone. And the parent, go get your iPad. All they had to do is ask excuse and say, give me a minute, let me see what this child wants. iPad. iPad. In everything, there's good and there's evil. iPads was made for educational purposes and some social purposes, but not to be parents. Not to be parents and babysitters. They're in church and they can't even concentrate. You have the children's services and they can't even concentrate because an iPad is not in front of them. You're in the supermarket and you see them. The kids is ramping and raging and they give them the phone. So when you think that they're isolating because they are quiet and they're in their room because they just love to be alone, they're hurting. And they're hoping that you would see it. They're praying that you would see that they're hurting. They're praying that you would see that they're hurting. And you're so clueless. You're crying out for help. So that's what we need to pay attention to. Her grandkids, or kids, or auntie, or uncle, or nieces, or nephews, or grandkids. That's what we need to pay attention to. This is a wake-up call, but we don't learn. We don't learn. Abuse has no social, economic status. Abuse happened from the poorhouse to the White House. For the poorhouse to the king's house, churches, schools, homes, supermarket, abuse happen anywhere, everywhere. So instead of violating her again, take the time to educate your viewers. Re-educate. 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 Pray. Send mercies and good vibes to this young lady. And my prayer is that she'll come out of this and she will gear her career in protecting children. I have no doubt she's gonna be okay with good counseling. All of y'all talk about, oh, I don't believe in counseling. Believe me, some of y'all need some good counseling experience. Good counseling. She will come through this. A good support system. And a support system doesn't have to be your immediate family, because sometimes it's not. I bet you this social worker will never ever leave her without support. I bet you the law might stop her from being in a too close of a relationship, because that's how professionalism go. But I bet you she's gonna find the right people to support this young lady. I bet you she's gonna find the right, because it's a school. If it was a private therapist, it would be a different thing. But when you're in school, you have to follow the rules of the schools. So maybe at this level, her job is finished. But I bet you she will make sure that this young lady is protected if she continues school there. And she must be given all the props. Social workers, pastors, teachers, nurses, med techs, caregivers, and mandatory reporters. See something, say something. Make yourself your mandatory reporter for your family. Pledge that as from this week, I am going to be extra zealous in making sure my children knows that they can come to me. And if they feel like they can't come to me, going to a professional is okay. Let the child know. Going to a professional in school is okay. Going to someone, an adult that you can trust, is okay. Let's lift her up. Let's lift this young lady up. Let's continue to pray for her. And let's make it our job to create an avenue of safety and trust for our children. That's all I'm asking you all to do. That's all I'm asking you all to do. That's all I'm asking you all to do. Protect our children. They're our future. They're the one that's going to change all the mess that's happening socially by advocating for change. Protect our children at all costs. And I will talk about the parents' responsibility on another life, because there's some responsibility. There is some steps that needs to be taken. Take care of yourself. See you soon. Thanks for coming. If this is your first time, this is Home Care Queen TV, my Mercedes life. I appreciate you. If you're new here, feel free to peruse the channel and see if there's something you like about the channel. And if there is, your support is appreciated. Subscribe, like, comment, and anything that is of interest to you. For those of you who have been constant, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate your support. Be well.